Hello, everybody. I hope we're doing good tonight. We are still in the Grand Teton. We are in the Grand Tetons. We left Yellowstone day before yesterday. I want to show you a little bit about where we are, and we got a pretty special night tonight. Um,
Let me pick it up and have it over there.
what?
Make this go on there
No, but what?
so that they can see.
Hold on, I got a picture of it. And also, this is looking out our front window of the RV um, currently. And that is you can see the windshield wipers on the RV, and we have we've been traveling around today and really visiting, seeing a lot of sights. This is Medina standing here in front of the Grand Tetons. That is actually from our site, out front of our site, and with this is a what they call boondocking site. It's a no power, no no sewer, no water, and we are it's national forest, and there's about probably 10 other campers just spread out across the hillside, but we happen to get a really primo spot right here overlooking the whole area. And since we got solar, it does not matter to us. We have 5 days stay here free, and then if we probably move down the road to another campsite, which is still a good view of the Tetons here, Grand Tetons, for another 5 days of free camping. So we just really enjoy ourselves out here in Wyoming. Uh, I'm going to tell you about a couple of missing people right off the bat, and then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes, as we say in the South, of why tonight we are here tonight. This girl here is missing, a 55-year-old Shelly Lynn Johnson, last seen Wednesday, and that was a couple weeks back. Um, I believe it was I think it said Canyon Police, so I think it is in Yellowstone, Wyoming. Still, I had gotten this out the other day to to put it out, but never was able to do it. Um, we also have a hiker missing. This guy is a very experienced hiker. It said, and this is in I think it's in Colorado. Uh, he had just made the summit when he sent a picture of him making the summit of a location. There's another thing here. It says here, Colorado hiker with extensive background in survival goes missing after summiting a mountain, and he actually sent a picture to all his friends on this mountain that he summited. He looked like he's pretty happy. They said that they um, let's see. Let me see if I can get where I can read this. So Saturday they found shoe tracks that resembled O'Brien's, and on Owens Basin Trail and West Mancos Trail, and lost the prints at a river crossing on the West Mangos Trail at 7 a.m. Sunday. Both Henshaw and O'Brien's sister, Molly O'Brien, were told that by the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department the sheriff search and rescue, that hikers thought they had spotted O'Brien on Sunday, based on what the hiker was wearing, but it was later confirmed the hiker did not match O'Brien's statue and did not have the same tattoos. Molly O'Brien said the uh, the county search and rescue told her that her brother was likely no longer in La Plata Canyon, and the search was shifting towards the, I guess that's Hemperes Peak area on Wednesday. He was he We were just want to share that as of today, we want to keep searching, and we want to keep the momentum going. Molly O'Brien said. Molly expressed that her brother was extensive outdoor experience, and that if there wasn't a medical concern, he likely would have made his way back to the campsite. He is also outside and has spent more nights outside than in his bed in his life, and that's how he likes it, she said. Anyone with information or interested in donating to the search effort can searching find O'Brien on GoFundMe, and it shows there and a little another thing there. And this guy, out of all the stuff I've read about him, he is a expert pretty much in the outdoors. Has been out there doing everything, but you also can fall and break your leg, or you might have have different issues that they're concerned about. Let me see if this is what I'm thinking about. Uh, yeah, it said Henshaw's main concern is that he may have had a seizure or become unaware of his whereabouts. I wonder if he had. Okay, here's uh, O'Brien has epilepsy and
Hmm.
will have seizures on a constant basis. She said the seizures can be brought on by overexertion, mental stress, and lack of food or sleep. I feel pretty confident that he has had a seizure on his way down the mountain because he takes his medication at 8 o'clock. Uh, Henshaw says. Now, see, I believe everybody should do what they want to do in life, but he should, in my opinion, should have got one of those alert GPSs that
Or a
they put it,
dog
or a dog that
go with
would
him.
go with him. Right. She said he's likely missed that time, and that he had had a seizure within 30 minutes of missing his medication. He also is summiting a mountain with an elevation of over 13,000 feet after living at around 4,000 feet in Page, which could have caused fatigue. And I'm going to tell you, we are up here at like
Whew.
7,100 feet. It's not as bad, but we were up last week for 12 days at almost 8,000 feet, and even got up to 10,000. And it takes it out of you, takes the energy slap
It
out
really
of you.
does. And
And
I can't cook in high altitudes, obviously, because I messed up two cakes.
it may mess up two cases. In fact, that he was doing all of this strenuous activities close to the medication window of time, and he's very likely that he had a seizure, lost contact with his communication devices. She said, in the previous experiences, O'Brien's seizures, experience in previous experiences with O'Brien's seizures, Henshaw said that will enter a apostolical state that uh, will last anywhere from 15 to 90 minutes, which with time he may lose memory of what happened. As of noon Wednesday, there was 25 of his friends on the mountain searching for him, in addition to search and rescue teams from Montezuma and La Plata counties. Uh, said the sheriff, the Montezuma County Sheriff search and rescue team had not found any leads as of 2 p.m. on Wednesday. So the he's a I understand he was like a bike rider also. O'Brien is reported wearing gray tank top, black shorts, tennis shoes, and possibly had a long sleeve shirt on. Uh, said Henshaw said family and friends and search and rescue members looked all night Saturday. They found shoe tracks that resembled O'Brien's sneakers, and they had lost the prints around the river. We talked about a minute ago, but I mean, heck, we've been out in these woods, and it's hard to tell. I mean, you might be going 15 or 20 feet and actually lose uh, contact with the trail if they're really, it's kind of really hard to distinguish
And
where things are.
Chybug says seizures can pop up under duress and not good. But you know what? Sometimes people have seizures. They never they've never
Right.
had one
But
before.
he's had one before, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. He should have
Um,
been traveling with a support dog, or if nothing else, something. But
yeah.
you know, in those woods, though, Tommy, there ain't no service.
No, you're right. We had just came back from Yellowstone, and we were up there 12 days, and there was no service at all inside the Yellowstone. None. We could get internet because we were using Starlink, but we couldn't do anything
Chris
else.
Chris says that sometimes they comment and sometimes they don't, but they always listen. And Beach Bum said, Chris, leave a comment or something, please, so you don't make a missing poster. Please.
uh,
That's
okay,
that's funny.
now why we're here tonight is
I'm
Gabby
here.
Petito Revisited. We are actually camping on this at this place in the Grand Tetons, less than 5 miles from where Gabby Petito. You want in?
Well,
Yeah, less than 5 miles where Gabby Petito's was uh, was found buried. Maybe in a, I don't know if she had a shallow grave or what the deal was, but she where she met her demise uh, by through that whole situation. So today we checked on the with the computer and checked the last area where she was seen, and we drove out there, and it is a camping road basically. At the first of it, they have campgrounds where we probably you're looking down at
well,
something. Okay.
I'm typing because they're saying
Okay.
stuff.
Uh, where that when you come into the location, it is a dirt road, and there's pretty nice look pull offs and camp areas where people will what they call boondock. The same thing we're doing. They have no services at all, no electricity, sewer, or water, and the van when it was first spotted down there
By a
by a
YouTuber.
YouTuber was on this road. I feel like very sure that they were down there scouting for a place to stay at night. Well, we went down there today. Several nice pull offs where the people could camp, and then the road actually turned to a kind of a stream crossing. It was all the way across the road, about 15 feet wide. We have a four-wheel drive vehicle, so we just dropped it down four-wheel drive and continued to cross this water area. But that goes to show me that Brian Landry was trying to get to a place as far back in the woods to do his deed that maybe other people couldn't make it to. The road got very rough, potholes, uh, all kinds. I mean, a small car could make it because there were others driving down the road, but it was we bounced up and down. You know, it was incredibly rough. We drove another probably quarter mile, and then I started seeing the river that AK and a lot of other people have shown where the body was found. We saw an area that looked just like where the van had pulled off. So something caught my eye in that area. So we got out and we started looking around the riverbank, and we saw where the crosses were. There were 3, 4 crosses in on the riverbank that were done with stone, and also there's a rock that had "Rest in Peace, Gabby" on it. So we're pretty sure. I said 99.9% sure that is location. Now we couldn't go over on the riverbank because there's a creek running, and it runs at a
It's running, yeah.
pretty good pace. I felt like I probably could jump over this creek, but if I'd have missed, I would have got wet totally, and we were going to Jackson Hole, so we decided against it. But we, if you see these pictures, Dina took with her camera. This is a cross. I don't know if you kind of see the cross and straight ahead. In this picture, there's one or two crosses there. Uh, this is another picture. You can see it there.
Yeah, you can see there's one cross at the top, a cross there at the bottom,
and one on the left. There's actually two or three crosses right there and I'm assuming that might have been where her body was found. My understanding was a shallow grave, but maybe one of y'all can uh, correct me if I'm wrong.
And somebody told us last night on our live stream that Gabby Petito's ashes were sprinkled over Jenny Lake.
And that's about 3 or 4 miles from here. Crystal clear lake, beautiful, just absolutely.
With the Grand Tetons.
In the background.
In the background
very,
and reflection.
Very good. Now, I'm going to play you a little video that Medina did because for some reason my videos did not do right.
Good thing I videoed.
Although this is on fire. There's a cross out there, dude.
Yep.
There is, she's got the, you can see the crosses. Now, let me go back to where this rock was. It's very short. I wish I could get mine to play because it was longer than this. This is the rock that was out front by the road, by the tree, that I'm assuming that had something to do with her missing. It says, "Rest in peace, Gabby Petito." And then it had a couple of names down below that looked like they were etched on it, but I could not read them.
Okay, Chybug says she thought he covered her with rocks, branches, or leaves. And you know what I thought was strange about, and I don't know if the guy was there then, but the guy that kind of controls
the
this
camp
road, camp host for this road he's pretty close.
He's within 200 yards of where this is. And
so he may not have been there when this happened.
And we're not sure if he was there today. Really, a car was there.
Yeah,
and one of these mosquito things where it's like a little covered area with the mosquito walls on it. And the way a camp post works, and these what they call areas that are dispersed camping, is the camp host will just kind of oversee everything, make sure that people are not staying their welcome inside certain parks. He makes sure that they're not doing anything illegal. He's not in enforcement, but what he will do is he might ride up through the camp area and make sure that there's not like people shooting fireworks. You don't want to be shooting fireworks out here in National Park. Got all these animals. There's been some grizzlies seen around our campsite area, and they could catch fire, and we don't want that. So there's a camp host also just to answer questions, about certain things, but he's not to oversee anything, and you really don't his campsite on this particular road is way down near the end of the end of this road. And I'm gonna tell you, this is out in the sticks.
Yeah,
there's nothing out here. When Brian chose this road, I don't know that he went down there and just chose it, or he read about it, because it is a dispersed camping area through the National Park Service. So, all right, first off, I'm not sponsored by this website, but I use it a lot in our travels, and that is Campendium. Campendium is it's a website that has all of the has just about all the campgrounds on it, but it specializes in giving guys like us, me and Medina, a look at dispersed camping or boondocking locations, and it'll give you the coordinates of the location. That's actually how we found this particular location, was the lat long. It'll give you if there's a camp host, and some of the reviews from other people about the particular area. So that one out there, if you go online, anybody could find out about that. And there's tons of pictures online of this particular area.
Okay. Beach Bum said, "Do you have to register to go into the park or any park?"
Nothing.
No, you don't.
Well, no, the park itself, like Yellowstone, you have to.
Not
Or
register. You just
no, but
pay
you
money.
have to either pay to get in or you have to show your pass and your ID.
Yeah.
But in the Grand Tetons, we didn't have to do anything. We just drove straight through. Now,
This is dispersed.
yeah,
camping.
this is like
forest roads.
it's like in Florida. Actually, has a few locations. Alabama does, and some of their federal parks, but federal lands. But you've heard, I know if everybody's heard of BLM land, it's Bureau of Land Management. That type of lands are a lot over a lot of areas, and people out west especially, they'll go and camp for free out there. Most of it's in the desert and stuff, but this is forest land, forest, the National Forest Service. They have also land. It's basically public lands. It's our land, my land, her land, everybody's land that lives, works and is American citizen that pays taxes. You're paying for people to keep up these lands, so you basically have a permission to use them for free. Now, like this area here, there's a 5 night stay because it's so popular. You have the Grand Tetons, it's right next to the park. And that place where Brian Petito dumped the body, dumped her body, and I hate to be just like that. She was gone then. She was already, the way I understand it, she was deceased, or maybe that they had some issue out there. I'm kind of foggy about that because I know when somebody, a YouTuber, was down in that area, shined the light on what she saw was the van. There were some shoes laying outside the back of the van. I think somebody believed that it was Gabby Petito. Well, you know, I'm wondering, was she uh, was she deceased before she got there? That's what I'm wondering. Was she? My computer's macked up here. Was she deceased before she got? Yeah. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to look at y'all's. I don't know why that's doing that.
So, I will tell you, we were talking about this last night. If somebody was wanted by the police or something, this would be a place. I mean, they could go from one place to the next.
You could hide out. Probably, I have not seen any law enforcement, even the rangers up here in this area. Although they do, I mean, then in the park service areas, they can go anywhere, and they can even get out into the land management areas. So I think, I mean, we love it. We love where we're at, even though there is probably very little. Um,
I don't feel. I don't
we
feel
don't
in any way
no.
that
I mean,
we're in danger.
we got great neighbors.
That
The
people
guy,
come and talk to everybody when they come up. So.
the guy next door to us here is fairly packed in here, looking because of where we are overlooking the Tetons.
If you watched our live stream last night, you got to meet Leon, a little boy,
Korean boy.
His parents are, his dad's Korean. The nationality is Korean. And he came over and got on our live stream to say hello. And he's from Colorado, and he was so cute.
Our neighbor here is from Florida, and the neighbor one over, I think they're from Arizona. And so there's people up here from everywhere. And the 4th of July weekend, this place is going to be a madhouse. But this is a popular area, even on weekends, for locals to come up and camp because the view is incredible and it's free, and that's where we get from.
Martin Smallwood said, "Wasn't she hit in the head? Wasn't she hit on the head with a rock?"
I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly on what exactly happened. but I know that the way I understand it was that she was buried in a shallow grave. So, and this area on this, it's you got to understand this is a basically a river where they found her body, and it's a and parts of the river were like I guess maybe he thought that the river would come up eventually and cover her, but part of the river is just it's land. So, but it's and the rocks are huge. They're about. I'll get over here. Some of them are like this. Most of them are little round rocks or bigger rocks like that. So, it very well could have done that. But where those crosses are compared to the road where his van would have been was maybe 15 feet. What I thought when I'd read about this was I thought that he took her out 100 to 300 yards and did something, but nah, he was right there next to the road. He was in he was in a hurry. He was nervous. He wanted to get this done and get out of there. You can think of that mindset. I'm sure he had because um uh you know, the update for her is she is still dead. Don, yes, she is deceased. And that's not what this video is about. The video is about the fact that we went out there to where this all took place. We looked at where the AK and all others had put rocks in crosses. We saw exactly where that the rock was left for rest in peace. So if you're come here today wanting something uh, more than that, we are just trying to share with you something that we did. Um, you know, mainly wanted to see. I was so confused about, I guess, being former law enforcement. I wanted to see kind of like the crime scene. I wanted to go back. I wanted to see what kind of try to visualize in his mind what was he thinking, because I believe that he was in a hurry, he was nervous, and he wanted to get her concealed before somebody saw him, because this road is not like nobody travels down it. When we
Yeah,
were on it,
we
that we
passed
passed
several.
4 cars, we passed 2 horse trailers, because here's another thing, that area is got all kinds of horse trails in it, and they run a horse guide service that runs right through that area. In fact, we had stopped and let about 10 or 15 horses pass in front of us and different places. And there was a car looking for a place to camp when we were down there. So, you know,
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
think
understand how he thought he could get away with it.
I don't think he was familiar with the area. How he found that particular road and decided to go down it, maybe because it's more flat. Our road, if he'd went down the road that comes up to this camping area, there's several other roads that run off of it. He could have very well done that. So I don't know. It's I feel like maybe he had. I wish they would have told if he'd researched it on his computer about places to, you know,
There's so much we'll never know.
no, because I want to tell you, this whole area is there's roads everywhere. There's probably, I would say, probably three, maybe 400 campsites that you could camp in this whole area free. It just
And
depends on
nobody
how.
comes by.
No,
Now they did. The friends of the Grand Tetons came by today up here. One the girl was telling me, and they picked up some trash that had been left.
okay, great. Well, one thing too, uh, you think about it, even down our road that we are staying on, you can, they are um, offshoot camping that you could, if you were trying to hide from somebody, you could back on down in that campsite and they'd barely be able to see you. So
Hey,
I kind of think he was
um,
in a hurry.
I'm sorry. Beach Bum on up here asked Martin Smallwood. Allegedly, she asked him to finish her off, right?
I don't believe that in one iota, though. I mean, and whose story was that? That came from Brian, I'm sure, because
Brian's story was ridiculous. He
you know,
strangled her to end her pain.
yeah, that's crazy. And what girl or what person gonna say, "Go ahead and finish me off"? No, I don't believe it. I believe that he, whatever and wherever it happened, was that he panicked. He maybe got mad at
He
her.
did say it
He
though.
did. He, huh?
He did say that though.
Well, I mean, he can say anything he wants to. What? How do you feel about one thing? Is how do you feel about the fact that uh, the two girls from Moab were murdered down there,
I believe he did it.
and they never have said who their main suspect is, and it kind of just went away.
Yeah, but see, when it first happened, they had met Gabby in the coffee shop and they had talked to her. And at the time, supposedly, she had shared they were having some problems. So
Mhm.
I believe he killed those two women and Gabby.
Well, you got to think about this. We don't know what kind of mindset you think
Well,
about
Chabug
this.
said they caught him.
Oh, they did catch the
I just,
guy.
I
Who
honestly, that
could
surprises me.
somebody tell us who he was or give us a name? I would really like to read about that. The thing is, you do most cases, you do the most harm to people you love. That
Okay,
is just about that
Mick
is it.
Mick wrote, when Brian flew home, it would have been better for everyone if he stayed in Florida. I think Brian went home because he thought that he would hurt Gabby. I thought he killed her before he went home.
There's some evidence that maybe that something had already been done. Something had happened um, before he went home to Florida. Whether he, we don't know. We really just don't know unless she contacted her parents between them or contacted somebody with proof of life type thing. Um,
He
but
worked with Gabby. Chabug said that the guy worked with the two girls. That is
okay,
amazing to me
yeah,
because I
because
really felt like
yeah,
Brian
I
did it.
really wish though that if I hadn't have been in a national forest location today, we would have put the drone up and show you how close that all of this was to the road. It, I'm telling you, it's not even as long as my RV was between the place his van would have been parked and or the road to the place those crosses were. I mean, that's what kind of that's what really kind of just blew my mind because of the fact that we all the pictures I saw, everything, I thought that he would have taken her or something would have happened. They go for a walk or go for a hike and then something happened and he could be
Okay, Chabug
a
gave us his name.
couple of hundred yards, down. Okay, we'll be looking at that in a minute. But they could have been couple of hundred yards down the trail, and then something would happen. I just thought it would be a long ways away, but I'm telling you, the roads here, the cross is like within 15 feet, 20 feet
Yeah,
of the
it's
road. It's close. So what I'm saying is,
thanks, Chabug. We'll look that up.
I'm wondering if she was dead prior to
Well, see,
crossing
like,
over that
all right,
river like thing.
Beach Bum said he used her money and took her van. So she had to, I mean, she would have called home if she was left alive without
Yeah, I
any.
mean, I can't see her being. First off, look, we're in this location
Okay,
here.
wait a minute. It's Chia Bug.
Okay,
Sorry.
if we
Sorry.
in this location here in this whole area, it is the most expensive place to eat, sleep, or anything in this whole area.
A gallon of milk today was $6, almost
Almost
seven,
$7.
almost $7, and a loaf of bread was $6. So yeah,
And gas today, I don't remember what gas was back then, but gas is over $3 to $4. Now here's the thing: from that road to that area to Jackson Hole is 30 something miles, 30-40 miles. The other way, Yellowstone would be the next place that you would look for anybody, and it's 43 miles. So, you know, the thought of her just hanging around until they can get back, I don't believe that. I think something was done before
read
that.
what Ruth said.
It says her. Let's say
Had not heard of Hiker, Colorado. It's getting wild. 12 miles away is a huge fire and growing fast. I'm now surrounded by fires. No fear. God is with me. Fear not and trust God. Okay, but God gives you a brain. If you need to get out of there, you
yeah,
get out of there. And we'll be praying for you.
right.
All of us will be praying for you that are praying. People will pray that God will just stop the fire. I mean, he can do anything.
And I for for Landry to think, for people to think he's telling the truth about leaving her down in this area, him going home kind of on his own and then coming back. I don't believe it, because first off, where is she going to stay? He's got the van. Where is she going to stay? And even if she could have stayed with somebody, don't you think she would have called her parents and said, "Hey, I just don't." That's why it is. I heard that his parents sent him money so that he could get
No,
home.
I think that was one of the things they were going to charge him with was for using her credit card.
Yeah, I think there's something like that. But either way, uh, the whole thing to me was really just confusing about it until I saw it today. The fact that it looks like to me, and this is just pure speculation on all of our parts, but it looks like to me he was driving down the road with a person that's incapacitated, looking for a place to dump a body. So what does he do? He drives in it. He would have had to drive through this water. He would have had to drive through this little lake. Um, he would have had to park on the side. He would have had to unload a body. And once you get to the riverbank, where it's just about 15 feet, there's a hedge that blocks the view pretty much of the road. So it would be very easy to kind of hide over there. It's pretty gutsy though to do it um, with the camp host and a lot of other people there. Now, here's the thing: what if he did it at night? What if he drove down there at night and parked on the side of the road at night? I mean, all of it could have happened. It could have happened early, early in the morning. There's a lot to see, but I wish everybody, I wish everybody could go and to this location, and wait, I'm trying. I got some chai bug, or is it not chai bug? It's
No, chia bug.
chia bug.
Hmm.
Anyway, I wish everybody could go over there or go out there and look at it. It honestly gave me the chills, you might say, as we say in the South. It gave me the willies, because it just, you felt like, you know, this was uh, this was ground uh, that evil had possessed at one time or another. It really did. It gave me, as my grandmother used to say, it gave me the willies. It gave me just like a chill up my back, because you know, this was like a crime scene to me. Even though she was not there, and that type of stuff is long, long ago. Um,
She said his mother knew.
you
Yeah,
know,
the parents got off easy, I think.
well, it may not be
Well, yeah,
over.
because it's a civil suit. The
That may
judge
not be over.
ordered the burn letter released that mom wrote him.
Well, I would love to see
Martin
the
says he
text
thinks it happened
messages.
where she was found.
Well, if that may be true, but one thing I'm telling you, right where you cross that little creek area to go over to the area where her grave, shallow grave, I understand it where it was, is not 15 feet off the road. I don't, you know, I don't know. I just, and there's a hedge there, and actually this creek running through there is it's about 5 feet wide, and people have put rocks up and stuff to keep the water from running out there on those that like grave sites, but it's not helping. But I wish the we could show that with a drone up high, because
She,
it's rocky. It's like round rocks all
and
over
there's
the
two
place,
waters you
and
have crossed.
there's two waters you got to cross to get out to where the crosses are, and then once you do, there's like it's like a stream runs down through there right past there that might be 5 or 6 feet wide. There's land again, and then there's 10 feet, and land again, and it's like a sandy bottom to the river with these huge rocks. So if you have a super bad rainfall, I could see that river being completely, washing at that point. And plus, the little portions of rivers were really going.
Chia Bug says, my guess is maybe they were skipping rocks and threw one in rage and freaked out.
No, no, he's not that type of rocks. I mean, there's rocks this big is average size rock. I mean, it's not, and there's no place to skip it. That's not, it's not like that type of river. It's a I don't
Martin
know if
says that he
you
thinks
know.
it happened there because it would be too hard to move her body.
I think he could have put her. She weighed what 115 pounds. I think he could have took her, laid her over his shoulder, and walked those 15 steps over there to it. I mean, we're not talking about
Okay.
uh,
Chia Bug
you
says,
know.
how close to 10 Sleep, Wyoming? I don't know.
Now
Ru-
it's between. This happened between Jackson Hole and Yellowstone. That's what it happened. It happened with 35 miles to Jackson Hole, 43 miles to Yellowstone.
Katie said she heard that she was trying to get away from him and he chased her down.
But I heard the same thing too. But here's the thing: you wouldn't have to chase her more than 10 feet. That's where the body was found. Well, did he chase her across the creek and then hit her? Why take the body back and bury it so close to where his van was? Guys, I'm telling you, it's the from the where the van was parked to where the crosses are. If the crosses are telling us that's where the body was found, then it's 12 feet, probably 15 at the most. But here's what I would like to talk to AK and find out if that is where the body was buried, is where the crosses are. If the body was buried 300 or 400 yards out across the lake there, across this half dried creek, then hey, I understand. That's what he did. He could have chased her across there. I don't see them really running across the creek area though. It's really hard to navigate on foot. Running down the road, maybe. Getting into it, running down the road, but still, you got a camp post 200 yards away. He didn't apparently didn't hear anything. You got other
If
people
he was
camping.
there.
Yeah, You got other people camping in the area to begin with. You know, this is not a completely abandoned road. Okay, we had, like I said, horseback riders in and out. Cars were up and down the road. The road is well graded until you get past the last camp area, and then it starts to get really rough. And this was about 300 yards past the water that goes across the road. And that's another thing. Would he have crossed the road in that van through that water? You know, that's another thing. Why do that? Only reason we did is we had four-wheel drive and I wasn't worried about it. But you know, maybe he was following somebody through there, saw them do it in a low clearance vehicle, and just, you know, they may have went down there, parked on the side of the road where it happened, and you know, we don't know if they slept there that night. We don't know if they were, you know, or anything.
Katie said, heard she hurt herself or something, and he carried her as far as he supposedly could.
Well, that's again, we need to talk to. I need to talk to Gay K to tell me if where the body was found, that he know where the body was found, because if the body was found where the crosses are, he can't, you know, you're talking about 15 feet, and I just can't believe that. I you know, and look, if somebody is going to try to hide a body and hide it, um, they usually go more than 15 feet from the road. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, that is kind of stupid to bury her that close with as many people coming up and down.
And horses and all that. I
Yeah,
mean, you know, if he wants to hide it from somebody, you know, they're going to do it less than that. Somebody that knows AK, I'm going to reach out to him too. I'll be honest with you, I haven't had the chance today. I got the Thursday night headache going on. So it's probably that's the reason. But,
Beach
and we
Bum
don't have
said that
great
you need.
internet in a lot of other places.
Beach Bum said you need to get AK and Martin on here.
Yeah, I agree. I do. I do.
Is talking to us, so that's a good thing on here. So
Yeah. And I hope that maybe somebody that knows a little bit more about a location. I just wish y'all look, I can't emphasize any more to you than tell you. Yes, the river is like, it's not really a river. Calling it a river is, you get this type of
it's not
image
a
in it. It's
river.
not a river. It is a creek,
Very fast
very
moving
fast
creek.
moving creek. But
If I'd have stepped into it, it would have come up to my knees, and I probably would not
for
have.
the little small amount,
Yeah,
once you got over where the crosses are, it's sandy rocks. All the rocks about that big or bigger, round. And then you might walk 15 feet and there'll be another like vein of water moving fast. And then you go very shallow, right? Martin, good to see you on here. Can you tell me, do you know if,
he says Google where Gabby was found more than 15 feet.
okay, right, 15 feet, the crosses.
Yes, a rocky stream, Lori.
Yes, 15. It would have been at least only about 15 feet from the road, and I believe that just from that tells me, as the criminal investigator of my past, tells me that he did it in a hurry. He didn't plan this he didn't have time to think it out, because who puts who puts a body, a person that you love, kills them and puts them in a shallow grave or anything within 15 feet of the road, starting off with. He could have easily, if he was trying to, wait at
Hide
night, hide her. He could have waited at night, got a little flashlight, put it in his mouth so to hold it down, walked across the area another 100 yards, and they may have never found her, or found her a long, long time out there. But it was easy to see where the van was parked, and I just can't see him doing it 15 feet from the road. I mean, he must have been very much of a hurry. Mick, I do not know if it was ever tested for bloodstains. I do not know if the van was. I think it was. I think they did seize the van, and I think if they seized it, I think they tested it. You know, raged and attacked her wasn't first time. Maybe I believe it had to be his first time because he did stupid stuff. You know, you had somebody in a shallow grave less than 15 feet from a roadway, which is sure the road is out there in the sticks. It's out there, but
Martin
like
said
I said, there's
100 yards from
you
the
know,
road.
uh,
That's not where the
no,
crosses are.
that's why I wanted to ask AK. I think I
I
understand.
thought
See,
AK put them where
put one of the crosses there, but uh, the crosses are 15 feet from the road.
100
I don't know if you know, and
100
plus,
feet. You'd have had to cross
and here and
three
here's
water
the thing
bodies.
too, where this is at and where the body was found and all. There's if he was to cross this area, dried up creek bed and all, he would be exposed to anybody that saw her and him carrying a body across there. He would be very much exposed because it's a very wide open area, and it's not like nobody's out there because we said again, we saw probably
Well, we passed
5 cars and
four
that little
cars.
4 or 5 cars, a whole bunch of horses and people on horseback. We saw construction. There's a bunch of other stuff. There's just so much. It would be, I don't know. It maybe at night, maybe, but I don't know that he would have done it. The whole area is wrong to me.
It was in the
It's wrong.
trees. There are trees there.
There is trees there, but
You pass the creek and the trees. You pass over it to get to the rocks.
yeah, and I'm still you're looking at 15 feet from the road. There's a kind of a hedge. There's a hedge area with breaks in it, a hedge of trees, kind of like with breaks in the trees where you could go. Now I wish, and let me go back to these pictures, and I wish I could. Mine were on here, but this is a pretty good one. This here, right here, the crosses are right there on the other side.
Okay,
Now
but
you
on
see
this side of this
yeah,
rock pile,
there's this creek about
there's a creek.
5 feet across and this swift, real swift water. But you see right there is kind of a dirt area and these crosses without a stone. So that tells you this so-called river does not get up over the stone because he probably would have washed these stones away
But now
because
that's
it's
where
fast.
AK put the thing. So
Right, I'm just
we're
wondering.
assuming.
But see, you got this little behind there. You've got another little vein of water. You've got an area of openness
And then
with
the big
another
water.
little vein of a lot, pretty about 50 feet across. The other vein was, but it was about 10 inches deep. But what makes it weird is the water is extremely fast. Uh, if you walked across 10 inches of water that is running hard, then you might trip up, especially if you were carrying somebody. This was the area right past the crosses. There's about 5 or 6 crosses out there now made of stone. Um, there's another picture, and this is the picture of the other rock that is set out in front of it near the road. Rest in peace. Right near the tree, there's a tree right there that
But see, that
might have
tree
did.
is right there on the road.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Let me see one other thing too. I did record a video that I was hoping that I would get on here. Uh, let me go over here real quick and see if it came up yet.
So far, no homes or buildings in the rural area now, yet people of Parachute, Colorado are preparing to leave. Thanks for your prayers, Medina. You have a kind and caring spirit from the Lord. Appreciate you. Hope you go live when you go to Craters of the Moon. I just hate it for her parents that he took this easy way out and didn't get to face them.
Yeah, one thing too, I'm wondering how long did Gabby um
Right.
and Brian, how long did they stay up in this area? Had they been this place before? Was it familiar to them?
Didn't she post a lot on her Facebook page or something?
I don't know.
So if she did,
The place that all this happened in Moab, it's right at the top of
oh,
Utah.
okay. Matt Randall said there was a helicopter footage where they found her. They had police tents where she was. Okay.
I'd like to see that or have some information on it. Moab is just south. It's kind of in the northeast corner of the state up there. Um, so it'd be interesting to see that helicopter
All
footage.
right. You got
Not
4 minutes. You
done.
got 4 minutes.
Well, listen, I'm gonna go because me and Anthony, I've got to send some information over to Anthony, or rather to Tony, and we're gonna talk about some very, very interesting case. So be sure to go over on that. And
Guys, thanks for joining us.
yes,
It was
and
a great conversation tonight. We will keep Gabby's parents in our prayers. I'm actually thinking about decorating a rock and taking it over there tomorrow.
okay, well, we'll let you go. I hope to see you over there on the other side
Bye,
with
y'all.
Tony.
Bye, y'all.